Okay, let's read something real quick. So a lot of you want to know what the reverse repo is about, right? Well, this is the open markets transactions. This is the authorization for domestic open market operations, which is what the repo is. This was effective January 26th of this year. So let's take a look. So the Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC, authorizes and directs the Federal Reserve Bank selected by the committee to execute open market transactions to the extent necessary to carry out the most recent domestic policy directive adopted by the committee. A. To buy or sell in the open market securities that are direct obligations of or fully guaranteed as to principal and interest by the United States, and securities that are direct obligations of or fully guaranteed as to principal and interest by any agency of the United States that are eligible for purchase or sale under Section 14B of the Federal Reserve Act for the System Open Market Account, or the SOMA account. So let me read that again. And securities that are direct obligations of or fully guaranteed. Or fully guaranteed. Well, what do we know about the NSCC? FTDs are fully guaranteed. Anyways, so part I here says, basically, the SOMA account eligibility is based on these criteria. As an outright operation with securities dealers and foreign and international accounts maintained at the selected bank on a same-day or deferred delivery basis, including such transactions as are commonly referred to as dollar rolls and coupon swaps at market prices, or as a temporary operation on a same-day or deferred delivery basis to purchase such eligible securities subject to an agreement to resell or repo transactions, or to sell such eligible securities subject to an agreement to repurchase, otherwise known as a reverse repo transactions, for a term of 65 business days or less, at rates that, unless otherwise authorized by the committee, are determined by competitive bidding after applying reasonable limitations on the volume of agreements with individual counterparties. B. To allow eligible securities in the SOMA to mature without replacement. C. To exchange at market prices in connection with the Treasury auction maturing eligible securities in the SOMA with the Treasury in the case of eligible securities that are direct obligations of the United States or that are fully guaranteed as to principal and interest by the United States, and to exchange market prices maturing eligible securities in the SOMA with an agency of the United States in the case of an eligible securities that are direct obligations of that agency or that are fully guaranteed to principal and interest by that agency. So again, agent lenders became a thing with Fidelity in April. That's when the repo demand took off, was in April. So they're doing all kinds of shit in this repo. So anyways, let's look at the securities lending section. So, in order to ensure the effective conduct of open market operations, the committee authorizes the selected bank to operate a program to lend eligible securities held in the SOMA to dealers on an overnight basis, except that the selected bank may lend eligible securities for longer than an overnight term to accommodate weekend, holiday, and similar trading conventions. A. Such securities lending must be at rates determined by competitive bidding, at a minimum lending fee consistent with objectives of the program, subject to reasonable limitations on the total amount of a specific issue of eligible securities that may be auctioned, and lastly, subject to reasonable limitations on the amount of eligible securities that each borrower may borrow. B. The selected bank may reject bids that, as determined in its sole discretion, could facilitate a bidder's ability to control a single issue. 2. Accept Treasury securities or cash as collateral for any loan of securities authorized in this paragraph. And 3. Accept agency securities as collateral only for a loan of agency securities authorized in this paragraph. What do we know about agency securities? Fidelity has a shit ton of them. Now, I'll link this below if you want to take a look at it. But basically, it's all been planned this whole year. It's all been planned. So, again, the documents are there. We just need to read them all. So, yeah, didn't catch this one till now. But looks like it's all planned. Yippee!